Please get yourself ready for an exciting conversation. That's like magic. Hello, my name is Christopher Patno. I lead accessibility and disability innovation for a company called Google. You might have heard of us. I lead across all products and across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And I'm here to share with you some really exciting ICT opportunities, some new technologies that are just being created now. So the way the session is going to be is I'll say a few minutes talking about our accessibility centers and how we communicate and raise awareness of the technologies. We're going to hear 4 exciting pitches, and then we're going to hear about the impact that we can have at the end with Irene talking about exciting things happening in Africa. So that's the shape of the day. So I'll just start talking at you for a little bit. I apologize. Hopefully it'll be a little bit interesting. What I want to share with you is some information about something that Google has created called the Accessibility Discovery Center. And what this is a place where we try to bring the community in to understand the needs of the community and share with them, share with ourselves what's there. And thank you. So what this is, it actually started off as an experiment in London. We were given some space, and we wanted to figure out what's the right way to teach about inclusive design, to teach about these tools. So we experimented, and we built this model, and it was successful enough that 2 years later, we built 5 more. And we're continuing to do well, so much so we're actually going to be adding 3 more at the end of this year. So going from 2022 to 2026, we're going to go from 1 center to 9. This year, we have centers in London, Dublin, Dubai, Munich, Zurich, and Milan. This year, we plan to open one in Poland. We plan to open one in Brazil and open one in this little place called the United States, you might have heard. And what's exciting is we're doing this in the current climate. We are teaching about how you build for everyone and how we're impacting business, how we're impacting relationships. So it's really quite exciting. We've created this idea internally. It's a flywheel where we're all helping each other. We have the tools like Live Transcribe, which is the tool that can make real-time transcriptions in 120 different languages. And we teach people about this, and then we get to hear that, hey, your Uzbek isn't very good, please fix it. And this is exactly why we want to have these conversations, because we can't know unless we partner with the community. And that drives us for innovation. It gives us the chance that we want to take out these problems that we want to solve and figure out how to make it better. And then we train ourselves inside Google, or we bring people in, say students, or academics, or lawyers, or politicians, and teach them about the exciting opportunities and the impact that we can have. And then that feeds back into the products that we build and how we can make them better. So this virtuous cycle is really, really exciting. So the things that we teach here is in sort of 4 stations, and then we'll go on to the fun part of this session. The first part of a tour is in what we call the workshop. And here's we teach about inclusive design. We teach about disability-led innovation. We use straws as an example. How me as a digital guy, the first time I was confronted with a straw as assistive technology was when someone with cerebral palsy came in and said, I need a drink, and I can't drink if I don't have a glass of water, if I don't have a straw. I never knew of that, so I got some straws. And then another person said, hey, you know, paper straws are bad because they melt. Pasta straws are better. So then we had pasta straws too. And then another person said, well, bendy straws are even better than that. So we have that too. And what I realized is what accessibility really is about the creation of options, allowing me to customize my world so I can live the way that I want. So we get to teach about this stuff. And then we have video games that you can play with assistive technology. We have like a Tobii eye tracker. We even have a Microsoft Xbox adaptive controller and a Sony controller. So we're showing video games from competition, because no one company can have all of the solutions. And we want to show how the competition drives innovation. So really exciting. And then we show some mainstream physical kit, like a steady spoon or a braille slate. But then we have stations on the different dimensions of disability. We move into the digital zone. So we have a station on neurodiversity, speech and dexterity, hearing and vision. And every single day, someone leaves there saying, I didn't know this existed. So this is really exciting for us. We've had 15,000 people come through these spaces since we opened. And my hope is that we can start hitting about 10,000 people a year teaching about what it is that we here can be building and the impact that we can have to change the people's lives. So that's the center. What I want to talk about next, though, is all the exciting work that's going around the world. One of the things I love most about Zero Conference is the coming together of hundreds of countries, technologies that you haven't even dreamed of, or in some cases, multiple versions of the same technology. And that's cool, because no one person has the perfect solution for everyone. You need to have variation. But again, if you don't know it's there, it can't help you. So the purpose of our session here today is to teach you of some of the amazing things that exist in the world today. So we're going to start off. We have 4 exciting products. We have D-Hello, we have Godot, we have Speaky AI, and we have Turn Motion. So we're just going to simply go, because I'm lazy, we're going to move in an alphabetical fashion. So I've got a clicker, and you've got a clicker. So we're going to start with D-Hello. May we have the slides, please? The slides are coming. I hope. I don't see the slides. AV team, can we have the slides, please? I'm very sorry. Yes. You have nothing? D-Hello? Oh, I'm very sorry. We had the wrong lookup table. This is my fault. So Yoko Katara. Well, wait, but all the slides are after people's names. So, no, unfortunately. Did anyone do any good jokes? I only know bad jokes. I'm a father of 2. So all the jokes I say are either illegal or just morally wrong. Okay, brilliant.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, I'm Yuka Kataoka, a medical doctor of otolaryngology at Okayama University Hospital in Japan. I will introduce D-Hilo, a solution for people with hearing loss in disasters and emergencies. Missing a siren can be life-threatening. Please watch this video. Oh, there is no announcement.
Is the sound available on the video, please?
Can I back the video?
Can we pause the timer, please? Thank you. If we want, we can start doing some karaoke. So one of the hardest things about technology
cannot be received by deaf individuals. Not noticing emergency alarms is a emergency alarms, designed with the assumption of being heard, such as ambulance sirens or disaster warnings, cannot be received by deaf individuals. Not noticing emergency alarms is a serious issue that can have a significant impact on life and death. D-Hello aims to solve this issue by notifying users through vibrations and the screen display on a smartwatch. The Hello is an app that recognizes sounds like ambulance sirens, notifies the user through vibrations and the screen display on their Apple Watch. By utilizing AI-based learning, the app recognizes and notifies users about the sounds in their surroundings.
To address information barrier for people with hearing loss and ensure their safety even when alone, outdoors, or asleep, we developed the Hello, a standalone silent to vibration conversion app. Wearing it, we can detect emergency silence in real time. No smartphone, no network, anywhere. As a first model, we chose the Apple Watch for 3 reasons. It is widely used in Japan, highly multifunctional and stylish. It is something many people want to wear with or without hearing loss or disabilities, including me. This is perfectly aligns with our vision, Zero Barriers. More than 1,000 people participated in surveys, trials, workshops, and seminars, and their feedback has directly improved its usability. After 3 years of research and development, the app was launched in Japan last year and has been available for download since then. However, some challenges still remain. Looking ahead, now we are focusing on 4 key aspects: improving the detection accuracy in noisy environment, expanding the range of detectable sounds, expanding the app to other wearable devices, and exploring alternative solutions for recognized siren while driving. People with hearing loss face the same challenge worldwide. We would love to learn effective solutions from other countries, and we are eager to collaborate with partners who contribute not only financial support, but ideas and technology sharing with our vision, Zero Barriers. Thank you.
Thank you. So Yuko, two questions, please. One is, how do you go about adding new countries? How do you go about the internationalization of your application?
New countries. If the machine learning is conducted, we can deliver other countries this app. But however, the detection accuracy is a significant problem, and to improve it is now we are the most focusing point.
Yeah. And the second question, and the last one, I promise. What is the business model? How do you expect to continue this application to exist? How do you expect to make money so you can invest in it?
So far, collaborating company is conducting this development as CSR. Yeah.
CSR.
However, we have to create virtual cycle to provide widely, So, to create a business model, we have probably some steps. However, it is crucial to improve the detection accuracy first.
Yes. Yeah, and the reason I asked this question about the business model is too often we see an excellent experience be created as like a one-shot, and there's no thought in terms of how to maintain it, how to continue to invest in it, and then the worst thing in the world is to have people get addicted, dependent upon your experience, your application, and then you have to take it away. And this happens to small companies and big ones. This is not just a startup thing. Companies like Google and et cetera, we all have these situations where we can't support an application. So the more substantial we can make the business case, the better chance we have of really having the impact that we want. And this is why I asked that question.
Thank you very much. I would like to know what is a good way to improve the detection accuracy. So could you tell me some idea to collaborate with us?
Let's speak offline. This is a question I think a lot of people would like to hear, but we only have an hour. So let's do talk, please. Thank you. So next up is Godot. So the name is Johannes Heitz for this one, please, for the slides.
Is it the green button to move forward?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me? First of all, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very happy and honored to be able to speak here today a little bit about our approach to personalizing health communication. We are Godot, and we develop artificial intelligence embedded in behavior science. My name is Johannes, and I represent our Austrian R&D hub, where we're currently developing Habit, an algorithm that personalizes health communication, focusing on the drafting, the delivery, and adoption of messages. For that, we are currently receiving a grant from the Vienna Business Agency, which makes things a lot easier, of course, so quick shout out here. A brief background why we do this is the Googles, the Metas, the Amazons of the world have long since realized that personalization is core to a successful user journey and a good user experience in the 21st century. But for healthcare, we still don't do this. We use the one-style-fits-all approach, and that obviously fails to overcome our individual barriers to nudge us in the right direction to do the thing that we know is good for us. And it ends up feeling a lot like this artificial toddler with a bunch of red cubes that don't fit into the puzzle. So our contribution, I would say, our attempt to overcome this is, it contains two large chunks, two components. One of them is behavior science. This is based on good old scientific research, evidence-based strategies that gives us over 100 different tactics to frame the same message in different ways, which is an awful lot. And that is the second component, which is machine learning or artificial intelligence that helps us match the right message with the right individual. And if you add in a bit of generative AI to that, you can come up with personalized health communication in image, audio, and text format. So a little bit about how we learn, or how this algorithm learns, is similar to your Spotify or your YouTube. If you click on something, if you listen to something, it will know that you liked it. We use the same mechanism. That's like if you have a link in your message that wants to take you to a booking site to book your annual health screening. If you click on it, we know, okay, this worked. At least it got you to go to the booking site. If you then maybe actually go there and do the health screening and we get a feedback to that, then we know, okay, this was great, and we're gonna stick with doing the same thing. Likewise, if you don't do it, we're gonna keep changing it up until we find the preference, we find the right puzzle for you as an individual. And the good thing is that we can do this without personalized information, without personal information, and without health data, which makes that very convenient in the face of things like the GDPR and AI Act that we have to and want to be compliant with, obviously. And I'm also very happy to share that it works. So in our pilot projects in Japan, for example, with Osaka City, we had a bowel cancer screening where we could, in randomized control trials, really improve the uptake rate. With the hospital, we could improve the follow-up examination rate, and even very mundane things like reviewing your terms and conditions with your insurance, we could help. So we are now looking to reproduce these things in Austria, in Europe, but all around the world, to improve health communication, but also test and learn our algorithm in different contexts, and also extend it to new verticals, including education and climate adoption and anything that makes sense. So if anything of that resonates with you, please come and talk to me. I'm very much looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you two get two questions. One of the things I found really interesting is the structure of the organization. It's primarily Japan and you here in Austria. How do you break up the kind of work, and why does this work for Habit?
That is a good question. Something that is partly philosophical. You know, like it was very important for our founders to branch out early and to have a subsidiary in Vienna, because they really like the European values that we want to embrace. And it also lets us understand, like tackle the same problem from very different perspectives, because our Japanese team obviously works with Japanese health insurances, Japanese audiences, and they are very different compared to European one, for example, that we had to learn painfully. But it's also a great, it's a learning in itself. And we have realized every use case has a different, is unique. And we have to wrap our minds around that, from the user journey, from the audience, from the behavioral barriers, from what we need to bring the user to actually the individual to go all the way and do what is good for them. So I think even though it's sometimes a bit tricky, you know, intercontinental communication, 8 hours time difference, but overall it's something that we learn a lot from.
Yeah. And this is a conference here on accessibility and disability. Was there anything interesting about disability from a behavior science perspective that you would have discovered in this work?
Everything. I've already had so many conversations, and we know that behavior science is also like tested in the context of people with disabilities, and we know way too little about that ourselves. And I am specifically here to look for partners to have great projects, like wanna educate people or push healthcare for people with disabilities, and say, hey, we would like to have some assistance, some boost with our user journey, with our interactability, with our reminders, with our nudges, and anything that we can pick up here today or over the next 3 days, and that we can learn from this and also for future projects is immensely valuable for us.
Thank you. I think it's important for us to remember that doing work at accessibility is a journey. You have to start somewhere, and starting with curiosity and humility is a really great way to start. You don't know what the problems are until you ask. And you have to ask the right person, and then you have to be willing and okay to make a mistake, because we all do. And what makes someone successful versus not successful is what happens when you make a mistake. Do you get scared and fall back, or do you actually lean into it? So well done you. Thank you for being here, and I'm excited to see what you get to make.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Speaky AI. So these slides are from Fabiana Spadetta. Of course. Here you go. Advance, yes. For Speaky AI.
Hi everybody, I'm Fabiana Spadetto of Media Voice, and I'm here with Fabrizio Giacomelli, the CEO. We are here to present Speaky AI, that is our patented app that is going to be launched on the international market starting from the US in March. Speaky AI is the new conversational screen reader. It's a platform made up of 7 interconnected services that enable the complete access to any digital content for blind people. Complete access means any app, websites, and documents, even those that are not accessible to traditional screen readers. For example, I can download a document, edit, and share it by email or WhatsApp, whatever I want, without the need of any additional app. Anything is integrated in Speaky AI. And we are working also on Speaky AI embedded in AI glasses, enabling hands-free access just with the need of a keyword activation. It's a solution that will not be dedicated to blind and visually impaired people only, but it opens the doors to support people with motor disabilities as well. And it will be launched at the end of the year. And we are also developing a Speaky AI robotic dog. It's a fully AI-powered robotic guide dog for the autonomy of the blind people, indoor and outdoor mobility. And it's an interactive dog. It means that the person can ask for any questions to the dog, and the dog will answer to his question. And it's going to be launched at the end of the next year, December 27. It's a summary of our roadmap, and we are looking for investors, partner organizations for people with disabilities, not only blind and visually impaired, but motor disabilities as well, in addition, commercial partners. No, it's Okay, sorry. Lastly, we are very proud of the social impact that Media Voice has had since its foundation. In fact, since the year 2000 until now, we donate every year the 2% of our annual profits to developing countries. And now we are supporting a school in Mali, attended by blind children. And our dream is giving Speak AI for free to the people who can't afford it. But obviously we also have a profit model for Speak AI for people who can buy it. And that's why we are also looking for organization, non-profit organization that can help us to make our dreams come true. Thank you very much. If you want to get in touch with us, to go back.
Well, they've taken it down, but okay. You can come and find us later.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the thing that struck me when we spoke yesterday. I need to ask you about that dog. Okay. Where did the idea of oh no! Get someone. So I didn't mean to skate. If we had the dog, I could have helped bring it up. But ask you about specifically the dog, because there's two strong camps in my worlds of people who were blind and use support dogs. Some people say it's the heartbeat, it's the creature, it's the love. Other people say it's the utility. Where did the idea come from, and how did you make the decision to make this a product?
I answer then maybe that Fabrizio Giacomelli may add some useful information. In the meantime, I'll start saying that the problem that we have with, let me say, the real dogs is that they need time to be trained, as well as the training is very expensive. And so this problem may be solved and will be solved with a robotic dog. And in addition, thanks to the technology, you can interact with the dog. It means that you can ask questions. For example, if you are going to a supermarket and the dog stops, you can ask him, why are you stopping here? And he'll answer, because the lights are red, and so we have to stop. I don't know if Fabrizio...
I think just for time that goes to, but please do come up. I have a nerd question for you. I understand you're moving on to iOS. Sorry? Are you moving onto the iOS operating system for iPhones?
Yes, please. Thank you for the question. Important.
Yeah,
yes, we are going to do it
look at them.
during this year, in the second half of the year. So it is important. Let me add a few words to Fabiana said. We are looking also blind organization that will join us in the building of this dog, because we think that it is the future for the autonomy of all the blind people, the robotic dog and also humanoid robots, because now speech technology, AI, and robots now cost really, are very cheaper, especially a few years ago, are the three technologies that make us able to build wonderful services for all, in particular for blind people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabrizio. So this is for me. This is a watch this space carefully, because I think there's sort of like almost a religious war in terms of autonomous vehicles, autonomous dogs, and living creatures. There's no easy answer. This is a problem that needs to be solved. So we need to have open minds, but we also need to realize that different people have different needs. So the real solution will probably be a combination of these things, depending on what you can afford, where you are, and what your needs are. So thank you. Thank you for Speak AI. And then finally, turn motion. Jörg. So this is Jörg Popp for the slides.
Thank you very much. I will stand up so everyone can see what I'm wearing right now. Hi everyone, my name is Georg Popp, architect, designer, and I was affected by the polio virus that was caused via vaccination. Since I'm 1 year old, my left leg is fully paralyzed and my right foot partly. This means I cannot run or hike and I cannot walk without a support that's called orthosis. Over the last 30 years, I have worn all kinds of orthoses, only to realize that many fundamental problems remain unsolved. For example, somebody may decide whether to buy a Porsche or to be able to walk, because these systems can cost up to 80,000 euros. Current manual fabrication is slow, too costly, and prone to errors. This is why there's a dramatic shortage of clinicians, limiting patient care capacities. Turn-motion is enabling mass customization through a highly scalable production of custom carbon fiber composites, all in just a few clicks. So at the core is our patented reinforcement learning system. So with patient data as input, such as measurements, 3D scanning, motion, and sensor data, our AI-powered system is designing the optimal device tailored to the individual needs of every patient and is then produced via our robotic fiber placement. Automation boosts productivity, cutting design time by over 95%, as well as production within 24 hours instead of weeks or even months. So we are planning to release various different products. Initially starting from neuroorthosis, initially integrating mechanical joints from global manufacturers, then moving forward to prosthetic sockets and exoskeletons. And compared to current manufacturing methods, like SLS 3D printing, robot arm winding, or pre-preg, our system is more precise, requires less manual finishing with better quality. We are one of Austria's best funded and fastest growing startup in its field, with 1.5 million euros in government grants, in non-dilutive government grants already secured. We are now raising another 500,000 euros to unlock another 2 million. And our founding team makes investing in Turn-motion very easy. I want to point out our CTO, Chen Hua. Chen Hua is a leading figure in structural optimization algorithms and is also internationally recognized as a pioneer in structural technologies. Emanuel Lachmeier is one of Austria's leading figures in process technology. He is formerly known as the CTO of a company called Revo Foods, where he built up the largest 3D printing plant in the food industry in the entire world. So with that, it's our turn to change the market and the lives of millions. And now it's your turn. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now I've got 2 questions for you.
Please.
So one thing that I've fascinated with is the application of these kinds of tools in low and middle income countries. Mm-hmm. It seems to me with the advances that you're making in terms of speed and efficiency, that's a tremendous opportunity. How would you go about addressing these kinds of markets?
Thanks for the question. To be very honest, it's also the idea why we are here to make the connections for that, because we truly think that in these countries there's a lot of potential. Because here in Europe there are a lot of hurdles. They still have very old manufacturing methods already running. But in other countries they really embrace these technologies because they want to move fast and want to move fast forward, because the market is growing tremendously, like 12% every year. And so with our technology, we don't need to train these people to make it in the workshop. We don't need to, so the only way or the only people we need are the people who see the patients. So we can go there, we can build our own productions, decentralized anywhere, because basically you need only the machine we're right now developing, putting in the country, and then just training people in biomechanics, training people in rehabilitation who really see the patient and work with the products. They don't need to care about manufacturing, they don't need to care about maintaining it. That's all done by us in just a few clicks.
Yeah. Thank you. That's really exciting. And my second question is regarded to sustainability. What are the materials that you need to use for your work, and how can we bring those in quantity, again, to these low and middle income countries?
Yeah, that's also a good question. So basically, we use fibers combined with thermoplasts. The thermoplasts, they can be out of completely recyclable plastics. With the fibers, you need to have a special method in order to basically clean it out of these composites, and then you can reuse these fibers as chopped fibers in other materials. But the main advantage of that whole thing is, I mean, you would need to see what kind of waste you would create when doing it the method that's done right now. You know, it's like two huge, basically, canisters of waste only for one product, you know, like carbon fiber waste, glue, then sanded foam. You don't need, so you don't produce all of that waste with our technology.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what we've seen really innovative solutions in terms of emergency awareness, in terms of making sure you can get the medication or the right commitment, new ways of consuming information, new ways of movement in a literal sense. So what we are doing is we're making technologies that can empower people to live richer and fuller and safer lives. But sometimes people only do the good work when you have to. What's been really interesting for me, coming from the US into Europe because of the European Accessibility Act, I've never seen more action in accessibility than I have in the past 3 years. It's been profound, the difference from my first 10 years into the past 5. So we know that regulation can have an impact. But what's really exciting is that Irene has been sort of the spearhead of driving change on the continent of Africa around ICT technology. So Irene, could you share what we can sort of see as the burgeoning opportunity in Africa? And you can stay here if you want to go to the panel, please feel free, wherever you're most comfortable.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Christopher. Interesting listening to all the innovations that are being developed, so thank you so much. So I have the privilege, my name is Irene Mbari-Kirika, the founder and executive director of Enable. I have the privilege of sharing some groundbreaking news with you today, news that will transform the digital inclusion across Africa. Africa has a population of about 1.5 billion people. So this is very, very critical for us. So Enable, our organization, has partnered with ARSO, the Organization of Standardization, which has about 45 member countries in Africa, and the Kenya Bureau of Standards, with support from GIZ to develop Africa's first continent-wide digital accessibility standard for ICT products and services. Thank you. Let me tell you why this is important. Right now, more than 80 million people with disabilities across Africa are navigating digital landscapes that were not designed for them. Websites that they can't access, mobile apps that don't work for them, government services that they can completely not get access to, educational platforms that lock them out, financial products that do not allow them to transact independently, healthcare products and services that are not accessible to them. This isn't just about technology, it's about economic and social participation. Africa is at a turning point. The digital economy is estimated to be about $180 billion, meaning digital transformation is accelerating across the continent.
and we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to ensure that progress includes everyone by design, not as an afterthought. This framework will directly impact all sectors, including financial services, healthcare, technology, education, employment, transportation, ensuring that accessibility is embedded across every sector of our digital economy. The first stakeholder convening will take place at the Inclusive Africa Conference on June 2nd through the 4th in Nairobi, where we invite all partners, governments, and organizations of persons with disabilities to join the development process. To governments and private sector partners, this is your opportunity to lead the process, to build accessibility into your digital products and services from day one, rather than retrofitting after years later, which is definitely expensive. To stay informed, please click on the QR code that's on the screen and fill out your information. The digital future of Africa must be inclusive. Today, we are making that a reality. Please join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. So we have 10 more minutes until the end of this session. So I'd like to open up the floor for, I ask my questions. Does anyone in the audience have anything you'd like to ask myself, Irene, or our esteemed panelists? I see one over here on my left.
Hi, I actually have two questions, but I'll start with one.
Could you move closer to the mic, please?
Sorry. Nobody usually asks me to talk louder, so. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name from the Austrian-Japanese company, Jonathan? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just curious about the range of outputs that you're generating to customize, the thing that works best for that audience. Is it a collection of outputs that are predetermined and you're choosing among them as a result of the machine learning algorithm, or is it really a spectrum, a continuous spectrum, and you're constantly generating new combinations?
So thank you for the question. I would like to separate that into the format of the message, for which we use currently text, image, and audio. That's one part, and the other part is the channel to the individual, and I think you mean the latter one, right? Yes. So when we work with our partners, it's usually them having the direct channels to the end user, to their customer, because we don't own user data, we don't own databases. This comes with an entire red tail of data protection, data privacy, and especially in healthcare, many are just like more comfortable with the health insurance, for example, having the data, plugging into our API, generating the message, and then sending it out. That said, we have sent in-app notifications, we have sent emails, we have also sent physical letters. So at the end of the day, it depends on the use case, it depends on the channels that our partner has with the end users, and that said, we are quite flexible. We just produce text, image, and audio.
So you actually can send someone a video instead?
Video not yet, but we hope to be adding that very soon.
But I think then the answer to the question is that you're selecting from a predetermined menu, correct?
Yes, but it's mostly defined by our partner, because they say, well, we can only send this or that.
That's just a slightly easier problem, or a much easier problem than generating custom output based on user data. And if I could just take the second question for a different panel member, or not?
I don't see anyone jumping up and down. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, for Georg Popp. I have a close friend who lost his leg in a motorcycle accident when he was 21. He's now over 70. I'm just curious how obviously you're a startup, you're just starting, but how do you guarantee the fit's going to work? And what's your business model? I mean, do you have customers, patients already that are receiving your devices?
So first of all, we are not on the market yet. We just starting with first patients in the field of neuroorthotics. So we don't yet have the experience for prosthetics or prosthetic sockets, but we believe that with our technology we will have a big improvement there, especially for the sockets, because we can pre-program the fiber layout in a way it's dynamic, responding to the impact of the body. So it has some sort of springiness to it. So basically, the business model, so we don't see ourselves as the next orthosis or the next prosthetic startup. We see us more like a technology provider. So that means when an O&P practitioner has a patient and, for example, they need a knee joint from a global manufacturer with hydraulic damping, etc., then, you know, it always takes a lot of time and it's always very expensive, all the manual labor and all what's behind that. So our business model is they basically can simply get all the customized parts, all the customized parts that are touching the skin or adapted to the body from us within 24 hours. So all the structural optimization and behavior of the patient we know from data like body weight, like which muscles have which remaining function, and also in the future we want to implement motion capture data to that so we can simulate the gait pattern of the patient, and then we run a reinforcement learning algorithm that we can simulate it thousands of times, and with every time the fiber layout gets better and better until it achieves an optimum based on a predefined goal by the clinicians. I hope I could make it a little bit clearer and did not.
Thank you. You've obviously got a real chicken and egg problem, though, because before somebody's actually going to insure such a product, they're going to have to see what's equivalent to clinical data, right? I mean, even though you're not providing it, the people that are fitting these devices are going to have to trust that what they're getting is going to work for their patient. There's a third-party payment problem. That's, I think.
The nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Great questions. Does anyone else have a question in the audience? I see someone who's just raised his hand to my right. Yeah, you just nodded.
Thank you, the panelists. Thank you, Christopher, for these amazing presentations. I have a question for our fellow Yoka from Japan about the app that provides solutions for people who are deaf to hear the sirens, alarms. First is the application is already working as far as I understood in Japan, right? And how much do you charge? If it's paid or free, and if it's paid, how much do you charge the customers? And also, when do you think you might have like a deadline or something about the internationalization? Because I think this is a very interesting solution. As of any other presentation that we have heard today, but it's really interesting to find a real solution for people who are deaf, especially in terms of crisis and in terms of when there are situations that people who are deaf cannot hear what is happening around. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your good questions. The app can be downloaded from
closer to your mouth, please.
From Japanese app store, or free, without any cost. However, so far, but we are going to some additional silence in the app, and however, as I mentioned, the detection accuracy in noisy environment is crucial, and I'm not sure we can that quality of the microphone, Apple Watch microphone is maybe limited in comparison with microphone of hearing aids or cochlear implants, but how that is because hearing aids or cochlear implants microphone is a crucial function, so key function. So and the detection to improve detection accuracy, and machine learning should be conducted to provide it into other countries. Yeah. So in 1 or 2 years, I would like to do, but some ideas are required. Yeah.
Thank you. For those people who've never tried to build a piece of hardware, there's always a series of compromises, always a series of choices that you have to make because you want to keep the cost low, you want to keep the profile small. There's always things that you need to make everything work the way you want it to. It's very, very difficult. So the Apple Watch is a brilliant piece of hardware. The microphone they have was fit for purpose. We may be asking for a different purpose. So then we might want to investigate other solutions. So I don't want to give any shade to Apple and their watch. It's a great piece of kit. The Pixel watches are good too. So maybe there are other opportunities. I know with Live Transcribe, we use the tablet microphones and the phone microphones, and we see a big variance in terms of quality. So we could talk about different pieces of hardware, but I think we just need to be thoughtful in terms of this problem is almost like physics. The microphone can only take in the information that it has. And what we want to do maybe is make the algorithm more robust, to be more noise sensitive. We can talk more later. But for those of you who are building hardware, good luck. It's great fun, but it's also an awful lot of work. We don't have any more time for questions. So I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you to this wonderful panel of inventors and entrepreneurs, and thank you, Irene. And thank you for joining us. Have a lovely day.